This is Hayden Limond from SHC TV, and today I'm very lucky to be joined over Zoom by Ryan Carlin ahead of his upcoming fight on the Willie Limond vs Joe Law's Undercard at the Emirates Arena in Glasgow. So yeah, mate, like I say, how are you doing today?
Aye, no bad, just chilling.
That's good to hear, mate. So what I wanted to start with is how did you first get into boxing? What's your sort of story in getting into it? And yeah, like I say, how'd you get into it?
Eh, there's not much really a story. I just started when I was 10. My older brother had done it for a bit, and then I went up once or twice just to see how it was, and then I enjoyed it, and I've stuck to it since.
That's good to hear, mate. So one thing I sort of wanted to touch on is obviously your amateur career. Obviously you had a very decorated amateur career. How did you sort of find that? And what accolades did you achieve? How did you sort of find your amateur career?
Eh, I had a pretty decent amateur career. Scottish titles, Western District titles, won the British as well, travelled around with boxing Scotland a couple of times as well. Been to European Championships, um, and I just a fair bit of travelling.
So then obviously, you turned over at the end of 2022, and you got a win on your debut on points, and then obviously signing with St Andrews Sporting Club. How did you sort of find, switching over from the amateurs to the pros? Do you feel like your style was maybe more suited to the pros anyway?
I would probably say so. I did have quite a pro-ish style, but not as tidied up as get what as it is getting there now. Still obviously a lot to go through as well, but getting there just each camp at a time. So
So then obviously, onto your pro career, you're 4-0 now. How have you sort of found your first like year and a half, 2 years as a pro?
Eh, aye, I'd probably say it's went quite well. Some awkward but good structure of opponents, all different, which I want at the start because then when it comes to having the same fighters later on in your career, you know what to sort of deal with and try and overcome if it comes to it, and then being able to adapt quite well. Just if like things aren't going quite to plan, then you're able to just adapt quite quick. So
100%. So then obviously, onto this upcoming fight on the Willie Lemon Joe Laws undercard. It'll be your first arena show. We don't really have that many up here. How did that sort of come about? How long have you known about that? And yeah.
not too long. I knew what the sort of show was been spoke about, but there wasn't really much to go on. It was just saying that there'll be a arena show at this sort of rough date, and then that was pretty much it. I never really asked too much questions. I just sort of hear a bit and then wait and see what happens.
So how's training been for this fight? Because obviously, you just had a fight there on Burns night, so just over a month ago. Have you been in camp that whole time, or have you had a little break? How's training been?
Had a bit of a break. I had probably about a week off, I'd say. But then started back quite light, just done a couple of sessions just to sort of build a bit of foundation, and then really just proper started like 2 weeks ago, I would say.
So then, obviously, one thing I wanted to ask is opponent. Do you know who your opponent is yet? And if so, what do you sort of know of them?
Not quite yet. We're just sort of discussing a few at the moment, just to see what sort of ones fit. The sort of type of opponent that we're looking for. Well, we wouldn't say we're looking for a type, but I would more so just any sort of fight that we both think, guy, that one will do, or one that might not do, and we'll probably go just with whatever one suits what we're looking for, really.
So then, looking at your box rec, it says you have a fight scheduled in after that on the 25th. Is that the case?
I'm not entirely sure. Just wait and see how the Emirates one goes. If I come out with any cuts or anything like that, then we'll see what happens.
100%, mate. So one thing I sort of wanted to touch on is activity. Obviously, you've fought already this year, so this will be your second fight this year, the one on the Emirates show, that is. So how active would you say you want to be this year? And where do you sort of see yourself at the end of the year?
Um, I'd probably say at least another two, maybe three by the end of this year. Um, just keep as active as possible, but obviously, things don't always go to plan, so it's just sort of praying and hoping, but no expecting too much.
Then obviously, adding on to that, 10, 15, 20 years from now, when you're at the end of your career, what do you sort of, want to have achieved in your pro journey? And yeah,
But obviously, I have to say is a world title's the main goal, but I just sort of would rather just let it play out year by year and just see what happens. Obviously, it is the main goal, but if no, then it's just sort of just to say, like, I'm glad I done it. So
because when I was doing my research for this interview, I came across that you have a boxing academy. How did that sort of get started and how's that going?
it's going all right. It's just really like just something I've always wanted to do, and just obviously been in the gym, speaking to Martin in the gym, and just we both decided why not just get it going, see how it goes. But it's been going well at the minute. Been quite busy. Each session, there's about the same bodies that are there, which is always good because that they're enjoying it. So I can't really complain.
Have you got anything you want to promote, say for, your social media, tickets to the fight, sponsors, anything like that?
I just obviously all the sponsors that are continuing to support us is always great, and then make sure everybody gets their tickets for the 12th of April at the Emirates because it's going to be a great night.
100%, mate. Thanks so much for your time, mate. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, best of luck with your fight. We'll definitely do it again sometime.
Right, cheers for that, mate. Cheers.